What's up, everybody? Bryson here. So today what I want to share with you is a way that you can actually sell your property to make more money than you would selling your property even on the market. Okay, that's right. So now a lot of homeowners that sell a property actually only are aware of these two strategies, which is selling for cash or putting it on the market. Okay, so a lot of sellers know about they sell their house for cash, and this is more ideal if a situation if you're looking more for a quick sale. Okay, maybe your house needs a lot of repairs and you don't want to fix it. Maybe you don't want any home showings. Okay, or you want the convenient way of selling, convenient sell. Okay, this is typically 7 to 14 days. Okay, and there's no agent fees and no closing costs. Okay, so this is one way to sell a property. Okay, so you probably already aware there's a bunch of investors probably already reached out to you about selling, selling for cash. Okay, now the only thing about this is you're essentially trading in a little bit of equity for the convenient sell, because the investor's gonna have to go in, put money into the property, deal with the contracts and all that to put it on, and then go put it on the market. Okay, so the investor has to make a little bit of money. Now 95% of sellers know about this, and this is the route they typically go. It's traditional. Okay, so you go and hire an agent. Now stick with me because I'm about to share I'm going to share with you again a third strategy that a lot of people are actually unaware of. So traditionally, what you're going to do is hire an agent, and you're going to have to do repairs, okay, or any upgrades. You're going to have agent fees. You're going to have closing costs and all this stuff, okay? And typically, depending on which market you're in, it could take anywhere from 60 to 90 days to sell, okay? Now, this is a way to make more money than you did if you sell for cash, okay? But you got to do the work to the property to do it. So you're going to have to, because what your goal is to sell this to a traditional buyer that's going to go to the bank. It's probably going to be a family, and they're going to want to come live in your property, okay? Now, what a lot of people actually aren't even aware of when they do sell this route is all the costs that is actually associated with selling, okay? So whenever you sell a property traditionally, you're going to have on average 8 to 10%, okay? Now, why is that? So you got 6% in fees, okay? Because you got the seller agent and the buyer's agent. They both got to get paid. Then you're going to have about 2% in, this is fees, by the way, okay? Closing costs, okay? And then you're going to have another 2% roughly, especially in today's market, on concessions. So this means if you are selling at $300,000, $30,000 is going to come off right off the top, okay? Because a lot of people don't know there's a lot of hands in the pie, okay? There's a lot of people that got to get paid. There's agents that got to get paid. Appraisers got to get paid. Inspectors has to get paid. Title companies, right? County, you gotta record all the docs. There's a lot of hands in the pie, okay? So if you're selling a $300,000 property, right there you're gonna have 30,000 that's gonna come out of that, not including any repairs. Oh, and if you're a landlord or this is an investment property, you're also gonna have capital gains that's even gonna come out of that. So let's say that you had to put 20,000 in repairs. So this is going to be cost, and this is going to be repairs. Okay. So right there, that's $50,000. So now you're walking away with roughly about $250,000. Not including how long did it take? Did it take you 4 months to sell? Then you got to factor in 4 months worth of payments. Okay. So Now, why does anybody sell this third route, which is called owner finance? This is the third route. What happens is a lot of times people go to put their house on the market. They don't get the offers that they like. Maybe the agent oversold them on what is gonna, the outcome of everything, and they didn't get the price that they want. Okay, or it's set on the market for so long it becomes what's called the expired or failed listings. We are seeing this happen all the time. An agent comes and say, "Hey, I'll sell your property for 300. You want 300? Yeah, I want 300. Okay, great. I'll put it on the market. Put the stick in the stick in the grass, and then they just hope for a buyer." Okay. So what happens is now owner finance is the best way that you can actually make more money. Okay. So essentially, when you sell owner finance or what's called seller finance, you may hear people say sell me your house on terms. What this essentially means is now you're actually going to become the bank on your own property. So somebody like us could actually come in and say, "Hey, we'll offer you $300,000. You say, "Well, wait a second. Like the other route, I was going to walk away with $250,000. That's not including, again, if you are a landlord, you got capital gains taxes, which is why a lot of landlords are now becoming or liking this strategy. So now you're going to make $50,000 more than you would if you sold it even traditionally. Okay. And what we do is we say, we give you $300,000 as long as you give us the terms that we need, which is making those payments over time. Now you may say, well, wait a second. Well, why would I want to do that? Like, I don't want my payments. I want all my money in a lump sum. So a good question to ask yourself is, if you made $200,000, $300,000, what are you going to do with that money? What is it that you're going to do with that money? Now, a lot of people say, well, I'm going to go put it into a bank. Okay. We say, okay, you'll put that money in a bank. Well, the bank is paying less than 1% in returns. In fact, that means your money is dying. The second you go and put $200,000 into a bank, your money is starting to die. So what this strategy actually allows you to do is you make more money, okay? Because again, remember the $50,000 difference, and you're becoming the bank on your own property. And even there's times where we could actually even give you an interest rate, okay? So what a lot of people don't know also is they said, well, I got all this equity and everything. So let's say that somebody went and bought their house originally for $300,000 and had a 4% interest rate, okay, on a 360-month payment. That means you pay in interest, over 30 years, about $250,000. That means you paid $550,000 for your property. Now, these are rough numbers, okay? So a lot of people don't factor that in, is that when they have to pay interest to a bank. So you want to become a bank and make more money? What if we say, hey, we'll give you an interest rate. We'll give you a 3% interest rate on the $300,000. Now you're not making $300,000. Now you're actually making way more than $300,000, okay? Also, if you're a landlord, this is investment property, this is a great way to avoid capital gains tax because you're getting payments in installments, right? This is why a lot of landlords are going this route, is to avoid capital gains. Okay, so now your question may be, which is the most common question, is wait a second, this makes like, how am I protected? Like, what happens if you woke up one day and you don't make me payments? Okay, because remember, whenever we're doing this, we're going to say sell your house on terms. So a buyer may want 5 years, 10 years, 15. There's even sellers that are willing to sell, for 30 years. They'll hold a 30-year note. So whenever you went and bought a property, okay, you went to the bank. Okay, and the bank says, "Hey, great, we'll give you money for the house." Okay, in exchange, so what happens is then you there was a promissory note from the bank, right? Or from you, right? It says, "Hey, I promise to pay back this amount." In exchange, the bank gave you a deed. So there's a promissory note, okay, and then there's a deed, okay? Now, what happens if you stop making payments to the bank? What happens when you stop making payments to the bank? the bank can take the property back. That's exactly what they can do, okay? So what we do is the same exact model. We turn you into the bank. We create a promissory note. It says, hey, we promise to pay back X amount over X amount of time. And if we don't, guess what? You can actually take the property back. So in this $300,000, if we offered you $300,000, okay? So let's say we offered you $300,000. We had to go in and put 20,000, or let's say we put 10,000 in repairs. Okay. So let's say we did 10,000 in repairs. And we gave you maybe a $15,000 down payment. Okay. We are now in this property for $25,000. So if we woke up one day, year two, and said, you know what, hey, like, we just woke up on the wrong side of bed, we don't want to pay you. Well, guess what? We went in, we put $10,000 worth of repairs in your property. So now you have a fixed up property. And then we've already gave you your money down. And then maybe, you know, if it's 30 years for per se, or whatever the case is, however many years that you are willing to hold this note, maybe you got 2 years worth of payment. Now you get to take the property back. That sounds like a pretty good position to be in, right? So we, at this point, whenever somebody offers owner finance, nobody cares. We don't care about the price, right? That's why we're willing to give you a price that you cannot get anywhere else, because all we care about is, can we cash flow on the deal? We're gonna go sell it. We're gonna go do a rental, or we're gonna go do an owner finance, turn around and wrap sell it. So all you have to worry about every single month, just like the bank, is where's my check? That's it. If you're a landlord, this is an excellent way to still get your cash flow without having to manage tenants. So, for example, if we say, hey, well, if that breaks down to, and these are just rough numbers, but if you're getting a check from us for $1,200 every single month for 15 years or whatever that number comes out to, what would that do for you? Right? What would $1,200 a month do for you? What would that pay for? And you know this is money coming. This is actually a great way to set up a retirement or have an investment. You become an investor on your own property. Because again, if you go do this, if you go take the money and you put it into a bank, you're not getting anything out of it. It's just sitting there and it's just dying. Rather than selling your house, okay, for $300,000, maybe we give you an interest rate, so now you're going to actually make more. So now this is becoming an investment vehicle for you. So this is something to really consider. We're bringing a lot more awareness to this because a lot of individuals do not know about this. And yes, the last question a lot of people ask, like, hey, is this legal? Yes, it is legal. In fact, one of the person that we do a lot of business with is an actual real estate attorney. He's been doing this for 35 years. It's done over 10,000 transactions, okay? So I can tell you that this is perfectly legal. The banks are doing this, okay? So do you want to become the bank on your own property and walk away and make more money than you did if you sold today, okay?